completed a raster, you'd actually shift the entire background a little bit, but given that 32X is direct draw to a frame buffer, they could be doing that raster effect fully in software much more intuitively, if not per se inexpensively. Okay, Knuckles, come here. I'm gonna use you to bonk into the boss, because that's probably the simplest way to do this safely. Wait, what? Where am I? What? I'm stuck under the stage. I'm stuck. Can I call Knuckles to... Wow. Wow, okay. I am in a place. I am in a place with -9 rings, and I can't get hit. And I can't get out. Okay. Can I partner throw? Can I... I broke it! I broke the game. I may need to go back and highlight this. First highlight ever. Now what sucks is that I have auto-save, or manual save to this point, so I could wait another 7 minutes and time out. That's the only way I'm getting out of this stage, isn't it? What even put me under the stage? Did I get... Because if I got hit by one of those moving platforms, it would have... It would have, like, de-ringed me and pushed me to the left. I don't think it would have mashed me down. Back to our discussion earlier. I have not noticed any proper crush pistons in this game. I would have said because that would have done weird things if it hit the partner character and caused instant death of the partner character and desynced them. But maybe it's because collision in this game is just fundamentally broken. If there was anyone on chat right now, I'd ask whether they wanted me to just improvise tech or whether they wanted me to quit out and restart. But as it is, I'm just gonna get bored talking to myself. I guess I'll rant, because anyone who remembers me ranting. I guess I'll rant down that nice right-hand tech side column. So, 2 Hitachi SH2 32-bit RISC CPUs. So, RISC versus CISC. That basically means RISC is reduced instruction set. So what that means is that every instruction that the CPU can execute does a very small amount of work, like pulls something out of memory into a buffer, or makes computation based on 2 things that are already buffered, or writes the result back to a buffer. But each one of those instructions can operate in just a few cycles. So you can have long, complex programs made out of short, fast instructions, as opposed to the 68K CISC-based Genesis Mega Drive CPU. CISC is complex instruction set compiler, so that means that you might have one instruction that, as part of that single hardware-supported instruction, will retrieve multiple values from memory, do an operation on them, and write them back to memory. So you might be working much more out of memory than out of registers or caches on the CPU, and your programs are overall shorter but because each instruction is doing so much more work, it executes each instruction in a lot more time and with potentially more opportunities for weird stuff to happen and throw exceptions in the middle of an instruction. As I've been hashing about previously, we also have the custom graphics. Oh, I skipped over the Zilog Z80. So the Z80, I believe, was the original CPU of the Master System, which is what allows the Master System Genesis adapter, so you can actually run Z80 Master System games and code on the Genesis. There is a dedicated chunk of program memory allocated to the Z80 CPU, but mainly on Genesis Mega Drive it is used to operate the sound system. The graphics chips. So as I've been talking about, we have the massive 32x graphics horsepower that can direct draw whatever it wants to the frame buffer however it wants, and also has polygons, including hardware shaded and hardware textured polygons, which is pretty hot stuff back in the days of cartridge. And then we have the Genesis graphics chip, which had apparently about 80 sprites actually supported in the hardware and composited in the hardware. Each sprite can be 8x8, 32x32 pixels, and one of 4 16-color palettes. And it had 2 background tile planes that were again in hardware. You'd fill them up from tiles from a independent chunk of graphics memory, and each tile could be assigned one of, I would guess 4, although did not research that ahead of the time, palettes of, again, 16 colors each. Sound channels, I do not know the breakdown of the sound channels offhand. I know that the Z80 chip apparently runs the code that drives the sound chips. There are 3 different types of audio going on. There is frequency modulation, which is a dark art that I really have barely understood myself, let alone can explain, but it's basically you have a continuous sine wave and you are changing its frequency very rapidly, potentially multiple times over a single waveform. You have pulse width modulation, in which the amplitude of the waveform, I believe, stays constant. Imagine just a square wave, but you can dynamically control over time the width of the square pulse of the waveform. And then you have pulse code modulation, PCM, which is a lot more like day-to-day PC audio, where you have a waveform made up of a bunch of individual samples of whatever granularity, all streamed together to waveform. 8, 7, yay, I've talked over the entire countdown. We can get back to gameplay, although I think I am going to save, back out, save, and switch over to automatic saving from now on, just so we don't lose progress due to game.